Hello family, I'm Robert, I'm a real alcoholic. I would like to welcome everyone to the Atlanta Stepper Society book study. Change your thinking, change your life. Let's open with a moment of silence, then the serenity prayer. Serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. We're still in the chapter how it works. And what we did was I taught everybody how to do, or explain how to do, the 4 steps. And we went over resentments. Now we're going to leave resentments and take our 4th step into the area of fears. All right, we have to do a column 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the area of fears also. Then next week we're going to look at column 1, 2, 3, and 4 in sex and harms to others. Harms. And that will complete the 4th step. But for people here and people around the world, I do have the forms, and on YouTube we explain how to do it. So all you have to do is go to Robert Barber YouTube channel or Atlanta Stepper Society, or you can just, I tried it the other night, just go to the YouTube and put in step 4. AA step 4, NA step 4, and it'll pop up. So, and a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are starting to just go right to YouTube, which to me, I don't care how the information gets around the world. You know, that's what I was born to do. I was born to do the 12 steps. My life, I had to go through everything I had to go through to get to this position in my life so I can give back to others. That make sense? So, I'm giving it back free. All around the world. And that's a good thing. Tonight, we're going to talk about fears. And it's not that much on paper, but it's a lot of information. A lot of real important information. My life was controlled by fear. And I had no idea, because I thought fear was not being afraid of something. If someone say, you're fearful, I said, nah, you know, it's on. But I had no concept of what fear was and how fear would dominate my life. How fear controlled all my inner thoughts and all my emotions. How it blocked me from being successful. Fear is an illusion. It is not even real. However, we give it the power to become real. Even in the world of imagination, there's negative imagination and positive imagination. And what we're going to do, we're going to study this tonight and break it down. It's very, very important in order to be successful, to get beyond the fears. The power that I know, which I call God, does not operate in fear. It doesn't even understand it. It does not operate in fear. So, it only operates in faith. You know, if you read the scriptures, it'll tell you. If you go to Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 6, it says, it's impossible to please God without faith. I'm going to say that again. It's impossible to please God without faith. So if I'm going to be the good Samaritan and walk the old lady 1,000,000 times across the street, ain't no faith in that one. I'm going to say this again. It's impossible to please God without faith. And then you want to find out what faith is. But in order, I think, to find out what faith is, let's find out what fear is. So we're going to break it down tonight. If you go to page 67, it says, notice that the word fear. I'm going to start right there.
Notice that the word fear is bracketed alongside the difficulties with Mr. Brown, Ms. Jones, the employer, and the wife. This short word somehow touches about every aspect of our lives. It was an evil and a corroding thread. The fabric of our existence was shot through with it. It set in motion trains of circumstances which brought us misfortune we felt we didn't deserve. But did we not ourselves set the ball rolling? Sometimes we think fear ought to be classed with stealing, which seems to cause more trouble.
All right, let's break this paragraph down. Notice that the word fear. All right, let's look up fear. I always go to the AA dictionary, and I highly suggest everybody get one. Fear has 113 entries in our book. So that means it's been imprint or located somewhere in this book 113 times. That's a lot. Seems like if they wrote a lot about it, we must have a lot of it. Then it says, here's the definition. Agitation, alarm, anxiety, or dismay in the anticipation of or in the presence of danger, pain, or disaster. Negative imagination. It goes on to say dread, apprehension, the emotion inspired by what arouses one's deep respect or reverence. And they're talking about the God. But then it goes on and say that we didn't even put that in the big book. Alright, the reverence part, that kind of fear. So they're talking about negative fear. It's basically, for me to explain it, if I am afraid of something. If I have fear, I'm worried about something, I have anxiety over something, there's something that is disturbing me. No matter what it is, there's something that's disturbing me, I'm afraid of. It's unwanted. I don't know the outcome. So fear has a lot of different definitions, but you can narrow it down to your own mindset. That makes sense? So let's look at some examples. It says that, notice that the word fear is bracketed alongside the difficulties with Mr. Brown, Mrs. Jones, the employer, and the wife. If we turn back a page 65, we're going to go over this short example of a four-step. And what they're saying is, if you look in column 3 where it says affect my, and you see it in the brackets or in parentheses, fear, 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 fear. So basically what they're saying is that in this resentment, you have Mr. Brown. His attention to my wife makes me a little afraid that he might want her. Or he gonna tell something that I told him that I didn't want my wife to know. So I'm afraid. That's fear. He told my wife of my mistress. Now this fear got a resentment attached to it. But he's afraid because he don't know how much he done told about the mistress. So it can go, it can grow, it can grow, and it can grow. Alright? Mr. Brown may get my job at the office. I'm afraid. I'm afraid if he get the job at the office, he done told my wife about my mistress. She gonna leave me. The fear is growing. Then you look at Mrs. Jones. She's a nut. She snubbed me. She committed her husband for drinking. he's my friend, and she's a gossip. So if she knew how to commit her husband for drinking, and I'm a drunk, she done told my wife how to commit me. And I know Mr. Brown will get my wife dead. It just grows. My employer, unreasonable. Oh, let's say she's a gossip. So she's already on the list and she talks too much. I got a fear that she's gonna tell everybody my business. Not just Mr. Brown or my wife. She's gonna tell the whole community, the neighborhood. Glad they didn't have Facebook and Twitter and all that back then. They'll be off to the races now. Digital. My employer, unreasonable, unjust, overbearing. Here's one. Threatens to fire me for drinking and padding my expense account. I'm afraid that if he threatens to fire me, he's going to do it. And then I know that Ms. Jones going to find out about it and tell the whole community what's going on. I know Mr. Brown, I already told him about the mystery, but I didn't know he liked my wife at the time I told him that. Now I know he going to get her, and if you keep going down at the bottom, my wife likes Brown. She wants the house put in her name because she going to commit me. And Mr. Brown going to be living in my house. And the gossip can tell everybody all my business while I'm sitting in an asylum somewhere or a treatment center. But the bottom line is, that's fear. That's fear. Now, if you was going to ask Bill or whoever did this resentment, is it real or has it happened? It probably has an answer, no, I don't know. It's just stuff that's in my mind, in my head. That makes sense? Yeah. So, it says right here that this short word, go back to page 67. This short word somehow touches about every aspect of our lives. Now listen to this closely. This is going to get deeper and deeper. We're going to slowly get into the deep water. We're going to start in the shadows. If I'm afraid, if I have fear, and it touches every aspect of my life, that's a horrible situation to be in. Every aspect of my life. It was an evil and corroding thread. The fabric of our existence was shot through with it. In every, let's look up the word. Existence means it's a state of being. It's a life, right? So if I have something, if it's in my existence or in existence, let's just name a couple places or a couple things that's in my life, that's in my existence, especially like early in recovery. Let's say I come in recovery and I'm full of fear. I got this impending danger. I'm afraid of everything. Come into treatment and y'all say, you have to get a job. You have to go to work. On my record is 2 felonies. The instant I heard job, it started. Yeah. That's an existence. In my existence. Having a job is in my existence, right? It starts. I wonder, do they know I got felonies? Ain't nobody gonna hire me. I already know what it's gonna be. I'm afraid to go down to the government office. I'm afraid to go try to get a truck driving license or work for a company. Even though I got a good record, I still have felonies on my record. The fear, the evil, corroding is like rusty. You know what I'm saying? Deteriorating. This thread, it starts on your job. It goes into the possibility of you getting a job, to you being employable. It deteriorates, take it away from you. You can't even get a job because your own fear and your own scariness pulls that out of you. Now, in reality, do you mean to tell me every truck driver, every company is clean, don't have no felonies? No way. Is every police on every force sitting there without a felony? No way. All these jobs, you mean to tell me every job out here in the city of Atlanta or anywhere else, people working because they do not have felonies, or people have felonies? But in my mind, it robbed me from employment. Now that's just early in recovery. Now, here's a good one. This is all in existence. This is about life. I want to get an apartment, but my credit score ain't too good. Got to get a background check, and I done had a couple evictions. They say you got to need treatment. Your year is up. Here's an application to take down to the apartments. They have a list of apartments. First thing comes to my mind, go to mama house. But I got fear. I'm afraid to fill out them applications. You mean to tell me this city have over, I would say, 200,000 apartment complexes? You mean to tell me if I went to fill out applications that 50 of them, 200,000? Somebody not gonna give me an apartment? But my own fear, I allow my own fear to rob me from getting an apartment. It's my thoughts, my anxiety, my own fears in my own head rob me from the existence of having a nice apartment. What? Let's name some more. Give me one.
You're just trying to get the job, and you know you got stuff that you didn't tell them, and you fear that that's going to reach up and get you.
So you get the job in faith because you jumped over fear, but then as soon as you get employed, fear come back to rob you because you think, I'm going to do the best job I can do, but they still going to get me. So I ain't going to do that well. What about, there's a lot of them, getting driving license. Getting into relationships. The point I'm trying to make is, in every aspect of my existence, they didn't leave nothing out. Fear is there. Fear is there. Now somebody tell me that's exciting. Every aspect of my life that I can think of, from relationships, I used to even have fear or afraid to go to family reunions where I'm supposed to be welcome. Fear. Fear blocks us from the Spirit of God. I remember a story, and I always say it, you know what? Okay, if you got to pay bills and you owe money, and you're afraid of your debt collectors, you're afraid of being late, you're afraid to do stuff, But live, go on vacation because you obey it, it's still controlling you. It's still dominating you, got you crippled. So instead of living in faith, I live in fear and a lack of position. I like the story about when Jesus, let me make this quick, he went to the first miracle. He goes to the wedding. Right, they ran out of wine. And you can read it for yourself, but it's just a beautiful example. See, Jesus supposed to only thought like a man, like God. Only had faith. He didn't operate in fear. He only had faith. So, at the wedding, the wine was gone. I'm not going to preach. I'm going to tell you what he told his mama. His mama come up to him. You can read it for yourself. And she said, son, they have no more wine. And a lot of people think it's arrogant. He looked at her and said, woman, why do you tell me that? They thought he was being arrogant. The reason he said that, because he does not operate in a lack of position. He don't know what it means that they don't have none. They don't have none. That don't operate in faith. That's somebody in fear. I'm afraid we ain't got enough wine for the rest of the folks. Everybody gonna be dissatisfied. They gonna gossip about us when they leave here, even though you got God in here with you. They gonna gossip. God right there at the wedding ain't gonna like, we ain't got none. People gonna talk about us. When they leave, they gonna say how bad the wedding was. You ran out. Even though the presence was there. There's something to think about. It was an evil and corroding thread. Why they call it evil? It's here to destroy you. We're only talking about fear. The fabric of our existence, every part of our life was shot through with it. And I just gave a few examples, but we can list 25 examples of life, and in every example, we're going to find fear in it. People don't want to go back to get an education. I'm afraid I can't do it. I'm afraid I'm too old. People don't want to take risks, don't want to start new companies, don't want to open up new businesses. They're not risk takers because I'm afraid I might fail. Live in fear. It says, it sets in motion trains of circumstances which brought us misfortune we felt we didn't deserve. I'm so afraid. I'm so full of fear. Misfortune means ill luck or bad fortune. I'm so full of fear that I'm sick. I'm sick. Let's say, how you not going to deserve it? I didn't deserve it. Ill luck, bad fortune, we felt we didn't deserve. You know, people used to always tell me, think big. Find something that you really want in reason. I had a friend come up to me today and told me this thing worked. I got that brand new 2013 outside. That's faith. He didn't come up and say, I bought me another hoopty. That's faith. I used to want to think, people used to tell me, think big, have big ideals. And by me living in so much fear, I didn't even think I deserved nothing big. Right. I didn't deserve to be wealthy. I don't deserve to walk around and the finer things in life. I don't deserve to take vacations like everybody else I see doing. We walk around homeless. I don't deserve them fine cars I'm watching everybody else drive. I'm on dope. I don't deserve to be a deacon in the church, but I was a sinner. Afraid to go knock on the pastor's door and say, I'm ready to be trained to come higher echelon in the church. I'm afraid to do serving work. Making it just too far. They're right around the corner. It's just too far. You can get down there on a bus for $19 and back. They got that dollar bus now. You know, $1 take you there and back. But I'm afraid it's just too far. Fear, evil, and corroding. Now we're talking about in our own minds now. I don't need no help to be scared. I don't need no input. It's in my own mind. It's in my own existence. But did we not ourselves set the ball rolling? When I did my list on fear, just like I did my list on my paperwork on resentment, it was only me. It was all in me. It was all in me. I'm sitting in jail for got so drunk, got my day wrong, supposed to been firing my gun on 4th of July. I'm shooting on July 3rd. Police roll up, you got to go. Gun ain't even registered. I said, it's the 4th. Nah, buddy. It's the 3rd. We might have let you get away on the 4th. Got so many people doing that, we don't know where it's coming from. But we know where you are now. Spend time in jail. Who set the ball rolling? I did. But who blamed the police? I did. Who afraid everybody's gonna find out about it? I am. It was all me. When I was in the military, we go into places, tear up bars. They got to pay for it. Who set the ball rolling? We did. Here's where we go. Sometimes we think fear ought to be classified with stealing. It seems to cause more problems. Let's just look at stealing. The definition of stealing is to take without permission. To take without permission. So what they're saying is, that's why I love this book. You have to really, really get in it and break it down. I love it. I love it. I love it. But it's teaching me that if I have a dream or desire, Wayne, I desire a new car. I have the ability to put that automobile in my imagination because I want it. I even can go down to the lot with they don't ask you for no money. You can go and look at the car, open the door, smell it, walk around it, get in, even test drive. You don't need no money to do that. They're going to try to get some money from you, but you already know that before you go. That's right. So you're not being deceived. You can go through all of that. You can even get the finances approved if you want to. And you can go home to think about it. And that evil, corroding fear start creeping up in your thoughts. You know you can't pay for that. Don't you know 6 years, 72 months is a lifetime paying that note? What about the insurance? What about gas? What your wife gonna say? What your significant other gonna say? You got kids. All the fears start coming up. Now here's the beauty of what the book is trying to tell you. That when you do that, fear steals that dream from you without permission. Just rob you of your blessing. That's deep. Is that not what the book's saying? We think fear ought to be classified with stealing. It takes without permission. Now anything you can put in your imagination that's good and not hurting no one could be God-given. It could be for you to transport, to go and do those vacations in comfort, to enjoy, to make you feel better, to increase the vibrations in your life, to make you feel more spiritual, whatever. But fear come in and rob it. To kill, steal, and destroy. I've heard that word before. That's fear. Ain't no devil, it's you. It's you. It's me. It's fear. Make sense? Rob you. It robs so well, take without permission. I have friends that go do time in jail, get out of jail, and is afraid to face society again. Fear rob them that they go back in jail. People go into recovery, stay 1 year, 2 years. Treatment center say, yo, you've been here too long. Go and enjoy your life. Go and become successful. You have the working tools. You got meetings that you can attend. You got a sponsor. You can work the 12 steps. You can do what you're supposed to do. Fear crawling. Can't do that. Can't do no 99 meeting. You're not gonna make it. You never made it before. You never give the life of sobriety a chance. You relapse. Go back and do another treatment. Start all over again. Now that's just plain insane. We're going to talk about that in the book. Anybody that come to this place that be around me or Ken, is no way in the hell you want to come back. I tell you that. That just be plain insane. I'm telling you that from my soul. I wouldn't go back to see Robert again. That's crazy. You think I'm going back over to St. Jude, see that nut? Ain't no way in the world I ain't gonna call his name, but no way. He kept me clean because I know I wasn't going back in there. That's just plain insane. But fear robs you from enjoying your life in sobriety. Steps. Don't do no 4 steps. You allow fear to rob you. And the book says the key to your future in recovery is in the 4th step. Rob you. Take without permission. That make any sense what we had? That's what fear does. And let's just keep going. I've been on fear for a long time. We
reviewed our fears thoroughly, put them on paper, even though we had no resentment in connection with them. We asked ourselves why we had them. Wasn't it because self-reliance failed us? Self-reliance was good as far as it went, but it didn't go far enough. Some of us once had great self-confidence, but it didn't fully solve the fear problem or any other. When it made us cocky, it was worse.
Alright, here's the deal. But let me just say one thing. Now, we all been taught, unless I'm wrong, that fear is the opposite of faith. Right or wrong? We all been taught that fear does not exist with God. We all been taught that, right? Okay, I just want to make sure. We reviewed our fears thoroughly. We put them on paper. Remember I told you got to do a 4-step on fears, called 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then maybe some 5s, some other paperwork. But it says that even though we had no resentment in connection with them, we asked ourselves why we had them. Now here's the deal. We already know how to do that. Column 1 and 2. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
List them, and then why we got them. Alright. Wasn't it because self-reliance failed us? Underline that, sir. That sentence. Self-reliance failed us. Let's talk about self-reliance. Yeah, I got it. You can look it up though. It's self-reliance, man, reliance upon one's own capabilities, judgments, or resources. Relying upon yourself to make something happen. Self-reliance was good as far as it went, but it didn't go far enough. Now, if I'm trying to do something, maybe start a business, alright, and I have my own judgment, I have my own capabilities and resources. I have hit blocks myself. I'm going to talk about me. When I start, and a lot of times in business, I know for a fact, and I learned, because I've been in this game 20 years here, and then had some other years in another company that I own. I have learned that, yes, I have judgments, yes, I have resources, trucks, and people, and this and that. Yes, I have capabilities to think and make things happen and everything. But I can honestly tell you, you put them 3 great things together, it's only going to go so far. And fear will attack you. I've been sending them trucks out all week long. I've been doing this, all that. I still don't even have payroll. I can't do this. The mortgage on the building is this big. I have learned, honestly learned, that you put all this, that you can ask any businessman, you can ask Donald Trump this one, you ain't going so far without a power greater than yourself. Ain't but so much you're going to be able to do. I am limited. That's what I had to learn. I am limited. I'm a little speck in this entire universe. Trillions of stars. 7 billion people. And numerous, you can't even count the animals and the bugs and all this kind of stuff. You can't do, how much can I do? I'm limited. My body can't run but so fast. Can't walk but so fast. I can't eat and boo-boo but so much. My mind don't have but so many brain cells. It's really limited. It's really limited. I think I had to be pushed to a point to see my limitations, to know that I had to go in faith and faith only. Because what I'm doing ain't gonna get but so much. That make any sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So, what they're saying right here, they just took it to another level. If you're trying to operate in this world and you're gonna make something happen by yourself, Yes, you can get a good start, but you're going to realize you're going to need something else to keep going. But we are limited. I don't know. I cannot tell you or pinpoint. One day gonna come though. Well, I'm gonna breathe out. It ain't gonna be over coming in. It's over. It's over. Ain't but so many breaths you're gonna take in this lifetime. So I'm limited. I'm limited. The only place I'm not limited is in my wonderful, beautiful imagination. I'm stuck here. I have learned to allow God to do it. I put my hands in my pocket, desire what I want from the universe, but it got to be good and don't hurt nobody else. And it will come. Keep my hands in my pocket and do what I'm supposed to do. I promise you it will come. I went to Bahamas. I said I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to have to tell you. I went to Bahamas. My family took me for Father's Day. And I was there and I wanted to play a slot machine. The people told me, the people that work in there, "I don't play that machine. That machine haven't hit, the jackpot was $5,000. Haven't hit for 4 years. They've just been sitting there." That's what they told me. I said, "But I like that machine. I'm going to play it." "Hey, you ain't going to hit." I said, "Look." I sit in that machine. It ain't been an hour. I put my little $2 in it, $1 here, $1 there. And I closed my eyes. And I said, "I wonder what it would feel like. I wonder what it would feel like." Now, I'm not relying on myself no more. I wonder what it would feel like to have them things. They ding, 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 3 of them in a row on that line. What would it feel like? I told myself, I heard myself say, you know what, it'll feel like joy. And I know the Bohemians don't make a lot of money in here. I'm going to hand out nice tips to the 3 or 4 that are telling me that it don't work. Now I'm doing this all, sitting in front of that machine. And I can see the guys bring me my money and hand it to me in my hand. And I'm helping them out. And my wife was at the swimming pool. I really wanted to go out there and just show her that chart. And so, get up out of that water. You got a swimming pool at home. A swimming pool at the gym. But that's what I had that all in my mind. All in my mind. I said, I got it. Faith, you on that next. Is confidence that you got it. See, I saw the movie from the end, not from the beginning. I went to the end of the movie and stayed there. And I said, I got it. Ding! 2 or 3 spins later, I got that $5,000. I said, you know what, this worked. Let me try it on this machine. Let me try it over here. I said, thank you, God. Now I can go back and tell the people how it works. And I did what I was supposed to do. But what my point is that faith works. Faith works. I had Ken, I'm going to use you, Ken. This weekend, I just left with all the payroll. I called him, how you doing? Oh shit. It's rough. It's tough. I go through this every week. Every week I have to go through this. I just leave it up to him. I know you want to, I know at the end of the Saturday he probably say, and he'd say, I said, you're going to get it. But my point is, he tried probably everything he knew to make it happen. And at the end of the day, he had to turn it over somewhere. And throw up your hands and say, you know what, I can't do this like this. Let me just see what happens if I let go and let God. Does that make sense? I found that life to be way more successful. Way more rewarding And I can give you a lot of stories like that. I just thought that was funny, because I won't tell you it won't work. I will never do that. It will work. It'll work on anything. And that's what they're trying to say right here, is that it wasn't it because self-reliance failed us? Self-reliance was good as far as it went, but it didn't go far enough. Some of us once had great confidence, but it didn't fully solve the fear problem or any other problem. When it made us cocky, it got worse. No matter how much confidence you have, how much self-reliance and judgment and education you've got, it still do not wipe away fear. You still can be scared. There's only one thing that wipes away fear, and that's faith.
Perhaps there is a better way. We think so. We are now on a different basis. The basis of trusting and relying upon God. We trust infinite God rather than our finite selves. We are in the world to play the role He assigns, just to the extent that we do as we think He would have us, and humbly rely on Him. Does He enable us to match calamity with serenity?
All right. Perhaps there's a better way. See, I wasn't using the casino money or the slot machine to go out and get drunk. I had a mission. I knew I had to reinvest back into the company. You know what I'm trying to say? I knew that I had people to help. I knew that. So I wasn't like, well, let me win that money so I can go and get drunk. That wasn't the mission. My motive was clean and pure. And it was honest. That makes sense? So it says that perhaps there's a better way. Instead of relying on myself and letting fear still attack me, maybe there's a better way of doing stuff. We think so, for we are now on a different basis. The basis of trusting and relying upon God. For me, God is inside of me, inside of my mind, inside of my imagination. Alright? Then it goes on to say that we trust infinite, for everlasting, unlimited, and expanding God rather than finite selves, limited selves. Instead of me relying on me. I'm limited. My heart ain't gonna beat but so many times this lifetime. My brain ain't gonna go but so far. The older I get, the slower I get. My back ache now. I got arthritis in my neck. If I could just lay on the beach, that's what I'm gonna do. It's only so much that a human being is going to be able to do. That's why we have to turn it over to a power greater than ourselves. That if you want to, let me put that in there. Or you can keep trying to hustle and rap and make things happen, but you wrestling and forcing it and trying to push your life way through society. Trying to push yourself to different levels. Or you can learn how to do it with God. See, if you have something that, if you really desire something, let's say you desire to have a good marriage, right? And if the marriage is a little shaky right now, or relationship, that's in every relationship. Don't think you alone, because you're not. Do you keep trying to argue and fix the other person? Or do you learn to fix yourself? But you could imagine, say, God, I really, really want this marriage to work. And I see myself as the best husband. I see myself understanding, reasonable, being able to appreciate the other person. And I see her the same way. And you watch the movie from the end, you assume the feeling, and you stay there. See, they say faith without works is dead. What they're saying is stay there. Is it going to be an argument? Yes. Is it going to be some frustration? Yes. But are you going to be able to make it through? Yes. Stay there and gradually. It's an incubation period with everything. A baby it wasn't born, you don't have sex and the baby come out the next day. It's 9 months later. There's an incubation for everything. And I promise you, you'll have to get better. You can do anything you desire. That's faith. It's impossible to please God without what? Faith. So it says that we trust infinite God rather than our limited selves. We are in the world to play the role He assigns. If you're living in fear all the time, we're not going to know what God is assigning for us to do because we're afraid of everything. We're in the opposite. Just to the extent that we do as we think He would have us and humbly rely on Him. Does He enable us to match calamity, that means disaster, something that causes us great loss or pain, with peace? We're going to be able to go through stuff with this peace and serenity. It's kind of like, remember I told y'all about going to a movie and going up and seeing the end of the movie first? And you see the happy people and the people that they're in and they're happy and they're in peace and they're in serenity, and then go back outside and come in with everybody else, and we all watching from the beginning, and they're seeing all the pain, they're seeing all the loss, they're seeing all the chaos, they see all the fear, and they're going through the motion, but not you. Because you operating from the end. You already know it's going to be peaceful. It's going to be serenity. And that's where we got to stay. We got to stay at the end of our desires and watch it unfold. Alright, the next one. So we out here.
We never apologize to anyone for depending upon our Creator. We laugh at those who think spirituality is a way of weakness. Paradoxically, it is a way of strength. The verdict of the ages is that faith needs courage. All men of faith have courage. They trust their God. We never apologize for God. Instead, we let Him demonstrate through us what He can do. We ask Him to remove our fear and direct our attention to what He would have us see. At once we commence to outgrow fear.
You know what? We talk about faith. You know, we have a situation across the street over there with the bank, and they put up a gate, which for years we've been parking, using 2 parking lots. But they put up a gate, right, which is a problem to people who see it as a problem. For me, it's not a problem because I take problems as a challenge to watch my faith work. I ain't scared of problems. See what I'm saying? I see something and what everybody else thinks is a problem, it's an opportunity for me to use what I believe in, my faith, and let my faith take care of it. You know? So it was about the parking. So what I did was I prayed. First of all, anytime you've been next to a business and it's been vacant for 7 years, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? To see someone going out there stirring up concrete, putting in new floor, putting in the electric, trying to open up and make that corner beautiful, that's a blessing. Do I have to go through a little discomfort to get there? That's the incubation period. That's the beauty of that. To me, that's a blessing. I can't wait to see the bright lights come on. Bing! Bing! Ding, 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 ding. I don't see it like everybody else see it. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was, I prayed. I said, well, what did I do? What we gonna do about the parking? The biggest thing for me was the trucks. So I would imagine that we go over there and talk to the man, and he allow us to park our trucks over there. I had that in my imagination. Went to bed last night, came over there, and had peace in me. I asked Steve, go over there and just tell him what we're gonna do. I said, Jane, go over there and do something. They went over there. The man said, well, no problem. Y'all can park y'all trucks over here in the morning. Now we can get the trash truck in and out. Just like I want. Now, I go back to my imagination, let the employees park over there. And by the time, what we know, we got a beautiful bank next door to us.
Yeah.
I'm already seeing the plan. You know the old furniture we used to put outside? We're gonna put the new out there now. The old mattresses that we used to put out there, we're gonna put the new ones outside now. See the miracle. Everything is not a problem. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We don't have to live in fear. We don't have to live in fear. Alright. We never apologize for anyone for depending on our Creator. Let our Creator do everything for us. That's what pleases God. God wants to do it for you. He don't want you to be all selfish, self-reliant. It's kind of crazy. You ain't that much and it ain't that powerful to be relying on yourself anyway. Ain't nothing. We can laugh at those who think spirituality a way of weakness. We know it's not now. You've been around a couple any time. Paradoxically, is a way of strength. The verdict, that means the truth. The jury done put the gavel on it. Of the ages is that faith means courage. It's proven faith. It's proven fact that faith is courage. All men of faith have courage. Everybody in that Bible who they list who had faith, they were strong people. They owned all the land. They had all the cattle. They had all the gold. They had all the riches. They were strong people. All they did was trust in God. God carried them. Go here, they went. Do this, they did. They wasn't walking around broke, relying on themselves. Instead, we let Him demonstrate through us what He can do. We ask, pray, Him to remove our fear and direct our attention to what He would have us be. At once, we commence to outgrow fear. Once you start doing this 4-step stuff, you will outgrow fear. Thank y'all for me.